apparently the UK is going full dystopia and are actually rolling out facial recognition vans. That is what the UK is doing right now, is, according to this, they're apparently actually rolling out facial recognition vans in the UK to continuously, like, scan people on the street for facial recognition. I think. I don't know. That's why I want to see this. This is why I want to see this. Cyber Waffle put this out. We watched one of his videos before. He lives in the UK, so he is someone that, when it comes to this UK stuff, I want to take a look at because he lives there. He would know. So let's take a look and see just what in the holiest of fucks is going on right now in the UK.
Britain's mass facial recognition rollout alarms rights group. The stuff that we've got to talk about in today's video is absolutely absurd. And for the past couple of weeks, I've been researching this topic and talking to journalists, and it keeps getting deeper and deeper. And what I'm about to share with you in this video should raise some serious alarm bells. So for the past few years, the government have been trialing a new technology, which is basically what China use. It's basically a facial ID system that allows the government and the police to profile people and match them against existing databases. Now, when researching this...
Wait, hang on. Okay, so this is put out by the Metropolitan Police. Facial recognition technology can be used to help identify people who've broken the law. Who've broken the law. Yeah, remember what the laws are like in the UK now. You make fun of someone on Facebook, you've broken the law. Saying mean things on Facebook in the UK is literally considered a hate crime. Just remember that.
And the police to profile people and match them against existing databases. Now, when researching this video, a few websites I actually tried to find out information about this weren't accessible from the UK. I actually had to use a VPN, and we'll talk about that later.
Oh, fuck. Oh shit, the UK's they're already trying to stem the flow of information. I'm gonna have him repeat that again because it bears fucking repeating.
Databases. Now, when researching this video, a few websites I actually tried to find out information about this weren't accessible from the UK. The UK government, the party, is already trying to halt information, to try and withhold information from its citizenry. Did I not say this was fucking coming? That's why they want to get rid of the VPN, so they can control information, they can control what their citizenry knows and what they don't know, and they can prevent their citizenry from actually finding out facts and truth about things by blocking access to information. Yeah, this is fucking pure goddamn dystopia right now. And I called this was going to happen. I said this was going to happen fucking months ago. When this all started, I said this when they started with the Online Safety Act, one of the first things I said is, this is going to spiral out of control. This has nothing to do with kids. It never has anything to do with kids. Anytime a politician tells you that they want to do something and it's for the kids, they just lie to you. And I said that this was going to spiral out of control and this was going to turn into wrongful crimes, and they were going to stymie the flow of information to people in the UK. And now we're seeing it. And it's getting even worse. I actually had to use a VPN, and we'll talk about that later. But over the past couple of weeks, I've actually had a couple of police officers reach out to me and talk about this, especially from the London police, talking about how this is going to be rolled out throughout London, and also how it's going to be rolled out in various different other cities around the UK. Outside supermarkets or in festival crowds, millions are now having their features scanned by real-time facial recognition systems in Britain, the only European country to deploy the technology on a large scale. And we can...
God damn, this is fucking dystopian. This is literally something out of dystopian sci-fi. You would see this in a sci-fi movie that talks about an oppressive government.
that they're basically live scanning your faces every moment of every day. It's now becoming fucking reality. Every bad sci-fi movie that we've seen where we're like, holy shit, this is absolutely sick that the government would basically just continuously scan people's faces no matter where you go, that you have zero privacy whatsoever. That's becoming a reality now in the UK.
Can see these police vans, and also, as you may learn later in the video, it's not just in London, it's now in other cities too. At London's Notting Hill Carnival, where 2 million people are expected to celebrate Afro-Caribbean culture over the 24th to 25th, facial recognition cameras are being deployed near entrances and exits. The police have said their objective was to identify and intercept wanted individuals by scanning faces in large crowds and comparing them with thousands of suspects already in the police database.
So that was a fucking lie.
No shot. They were looking for people that have been accused of wrongthink, and they're compiling into data. And what do you want to? They could possibly be using this as a compiling all this information, logging it, keeping it in a database. So if you say something mean on Facebook, or if you say something mean on Twitter, or if you say something mean, if you just disagree with something in person and don't let the fingermen do whatever the fuck they want, click, click, time to go. Like, I have no doubt that the way they've facilitated the database is they've linked up facial recognition, because facial recognition is now needed to access a wide fucking swath of sites in the UK right now, that I have little doubt that they're going to use these vans to basically scan your face and see if you said something mean on social media or something, and use that as justification to arrest you. I have no doubt that's going to be happening.
Then Police Chief Mark Rowley states that this has actually led to over 1,000 arrests since the start of 2024. Now, it's worth noting that over 650 arrests have been made from 2 cameras that were deployed over 100 times this year. 2 cameras, 650 arrests. But there's one more thing that absolutely...
Okay. It's all well and good to crow that you did 600 arrests from 2 facial recognition cameras. Here's the question. What were those arrests for? You can crow about, yeah, these facial recognition cameras have allowed us to facilitate arrests. Number one, how many of those arrests ended up you basically getting kicked back because the facial recognition failed? Number two, what were those arrests for? Were they arrests for serious offenses, like serious criminal offenses like rape and murder? Or were they for offenses like you said something mean on social media? That's the thing that is not being talked about here. Because now with this, they can, if someone commits wrongthink, it's going to be so much more simpler for the police to issue a warrant and then just deploy the vans and let the vans scan for faces. So if someone mentioned it kicked jaywalking, and the police, and the police don't have them, that they can issue a warrant for something simple like jaywalking or petty theft, or again, saying something mean on social media. Yes, I'm hammering on this because this is fucking insane that they've made being mean on social media as a fucking hate crime. And they just apply these vans and they can just issue warrants. And then the vans roll out, they find them and snap them up, and you get arrested for calling someone on social media an asshole. It's fucking dystopian.
Shocks me the most. Like, it's the worst part of all of this. But before I tell you that, a quick thank you to Private Internet Access. If you're looking for a VPN that allows you to stay private online, a VPN that doesn't keep logs, and it's also a VPN that works on multiple different devices, so you have one plan, it works on all your devices, make sure you check out Private Internet Access at the link down below. You get 86% off and 4 months free, and with pretty much all of my videos getting demonetized.
Durkin CBDC. What is that? I'm unfamiliar with that. What is the CBDC?
Out of curiosity, or if anybody knows what that is. Central bank digital currency. Ah, wait. So the EU is putting out their own fucking Bitcoin? Am I understanding they're basically putting out their own cryptocurrency? Is that what it is? Because, yeah, that's not going to blow up in their faces. Yeah, I did. I all digital, no paper. Oh, so basically the EU is going to an all digital currency and they're not going to have physical currency anymore. So basically the euro would just be all digital euro. Yeah. Good luck. Yeah. I don't see that going well. I do not see that going well at all because there are still a lot of businesses that are cash only businesses. It's going to force businesses to basically, some of like the fruit stands that only do cash, they're going to say, oh, nope, you have to basically buy a pin pad, and go digital on it. And I can see this is not going to go well. Oh boy. Yeah. And so they can track all the payments, of course. Yeah.
It's a fantastic way to support the channel, and it allows me to carry on doing my deep dives into all this information. Right, now back to the video. Now, in July of this year, they obviously introduced the Online Safety Act, and something else happened in July that I wasn't even aware of, but you're about to be. This all falls after the British police made a pledge in July of 2025 to roll static and mobile cameras out all over British towns and cities with a promised scope of 10,000 active cameras by 2030. So just to be clear, 650 arrests from 2 cameras. Imagine what's going to happen with 10,000.
And this was did he say that it rolled out before this?
Right, now back to the video. Now, in July of this year, they obviously introduced the Online Safety Act, and something else happened in July that I wasn't even aware of, but you're about to be. This all falls after the British police made a pledge in July of 2025 to roll static and mobile cameras out all over British towns and cities with a promised scope of 10,000 active cameras.
So this was planned. This was planned. The party and the fingermen worked together so they'd roll out the Online Safety Act, make facial ID requirements a thing for accessing just about anything right now, and at the same time the police are starting to roll out rolling out facial ID cameras en masse. Yeah, that wasn't planned, was it? And Ruben Farrell, thank you for the follow. Oh, well, Leo, I'm thinking that the hackers are going to be working more on the database that is storing all of the facial recognition data to the Online Safety Act. Because again, the Online Safety Act in the UK is not being facilitated. The facial recognition is not being facilitated by the British, but by the party. The facial recognition part is being outsourced to a third party company, and the hackers are already starting to knock on the doors of that company's digital footprint. They're already trying to knock down that company's digital doors so the gang can get in there and rip all of the data. And I could honestly see a hacker collective working to actually gain access to this company specifically for the purposes of ripping all that data out. Not to sell it on the dark web, but to literally rip it out and destroy it. So the party no longer has access to all of these, these IDs or, facial recognition that was used to access the website, and just destroying it, because that's where, make no fucking mistake, the British police and their facial recognition cameras are going to be tied into this third-party company that has been collecting facial data from Britons logging into a multitude of websites or services across multiple platforms. They are tied together. Make no fucking mistakes. So, yeah, I can absolutely see any hacker busting into this third-party company's database of facial ID as a white hat op. Actually, no, not even like a white hat op. It'd be a black hat op, because white hats actually work for the government, but these black hats are basically doing on the side of the angels. And they're going to get in there and just destroy all of the data so the party doesn't have it anymore.
I could see that happening easily.
Happen with 10,000. But you may be thinking, good, they're catching criminals. Londoner Sean Thompson, a 39-year-old black man, said he was arrested after being wrongly identified as a criminal by one of these cameras and has filed an appeal against the police. And
there it is. There it is, because facial recognition works off AI. And as we're all very familiar, AI is wrong or hallucinates 50% of the time. And so they're going to have this facial recognition system working off AI to match with what's in the database, and it's going to be wrong at least half the time. And here we see one of them. This man was arrested for being wrongly identified as a criminal. How many times do you think this happened? With the arrests, with the 600 arrests that the London Metro is touting, imagine how many more there are out there. My guess is a lot, and the police are not going to admit to it. The police will not admit to wrongly arresting someone. My guess is, to be charitable, it's a fair bet that a quarter to half of those arrests that he talked about earlier were the wrong person. That someone was misidentified as being a criminal.
And you can look online. There are hundreds.
No, it identified him as someone else, Leo. He was actually, no, I shouldn't say that. It doesn't say. It says he was arrested after being wrongly identified as a criminal. One would think that by this verbiage, it's saying that he was wrongly identified as someone else. But the fact that he's filed an appeal against the police means that sounds like they still charged him. So I don't know. I don't know.
And has filed an appeal against the police. And you can look online. There are hundreds of people writing on Reddit and different forums how they were identified by one of these cameras and wrongly identified as being a completely different person, and in some cases being arrested, had to go into a jail cell, spend a couple of hours or even overnight and wait for someone to come to the police station with a form of ID to prove they're not the person who the face ID says they are.
Wow.
This is absolutely insane. Now, we've had many different
and this is why I've seen a lot of videos online these days of police going up to houses in the UK and the people in the UK saying, fuck off. Like, I saw one video of a guy, like, the police showed up at his house. He had, like, a gate at the front. And he talked to them from his, like, upstairs window. And they started to open his gate and come in and said, no, you got a warrant? And they're like, no, I didn't say you could come in. You don't have a warrant. You're not coming in. And they were trying to get him to come downstairs to talk to them about something. He's like, no, I'll talk to you here. I'm not coming down to talk to you. I'm not coming down there so you can arrest me for some bullshit that I didn't do. Like, the lack of trust with the fingermen in the UK right now is probably at an all-time high. All-time high. I don't think anyone trusts the fingermen in the UK whatsoever right now. Nope. Zeb, they can't arrest him for resisting. Not at all. If they want to enter into his property if they want to enter into his property and he does not want them there, they can either produce a warrant or fuck off. Unless they are able to produce. Actually, I shouldn't even try to start quoting U.S. law because it may not work. Okay, so Zed, in your case, what you're referring to is if a crime just committed and they believed him to be the suspect, and they had reasonable suspicion that they believed he was the suspect, he was identified as the suspect by a witness, and they were there to make an arrest, that could be different. They were just saying, we'd like to talk to you, and he said, no, I don't want to talk to you. And they didn't say that you're a person, that you're a suspect. They were just saying, we want to talk to you. And he said, I don't want to talk to you. And unless you have a warrant, you're not allowed on my property. So different circumstance. That is a different circumstance. Nope. You can't be arrested for quote unquote impeding a police investigation if you don't wish to talk to the police. If you are not the suspect and the police don't have reasonable suspicion or or have grounds to arrest you, and the police say, "Can I ask you about a situation they have over there?" and you say, "I don't want to talk to you," police can't do a thing about it. They cannot do a thing about it. Well, I mean, Zeb, also, this guy was recording the incident the whole time. He had his phone and he was recording the incident the entire time. So if they try to force their way in, then he had video evidence that they violated his rights. So there it is. But we're going to see more people that will just, they're not going to have anything to do with the police. If a crime takes place, they will not help the police. They will not go to the police if a crime has been committed against them. They will just take the law in their own hands because there is a severe lack of trust in the fingermen in the UK right now. I'd say maybe 25% or less of UK citizens have any trust in the police. And the other, approximately 75 that I am admittedly pulling out of my ass on these numbers are probably going to have nothing to do with the police, and they will not help them in any way.
Ember, did you see that one video of them failing to bust the door down despite having a battering ram and a halogen? At least the fingerman can bust doors down.
Reckon, is that the one where it was female officers? It was like 3 or 4 female officers, and they couldn't get the door down? Because I vaguely remember seeing a short about that. Like, I saw the thumbnail for it, but I didn't actually watch the video. But I heard about that, yeah.
Rights organizations make comments about this as well, saying how this is actually unlawful and it violates some of the freedoms that we do have in the Western world, not just in the United States, but in the UK as well. This violates some of our freedoms of which we have been promised. Then here's the bit that absolutely sent me over the edge. So the most abhorrent thing about all of this is the following statement. The technology enables the police to match users against a database, but also detail notes about persons in which they believe to be suspicious based on behavior. The police have not stated how long these notes remain linked to a person's facial identification.
This is the literal definition of wrongthink. This is the literal definition of being investigated or arrested because of wrongthink. Right fucking there. They are literally going to go after people for not even thought crimes, Anubis. Suspected thought crimes. It's going to the route of not even just thought crimes, but suspected thought crimes. This is fucking sick. This is like, why anyone would want to even visit the UK right now is beyond me. Well, except actually to quote them, persons in which they believe to be suspicious based upon their behavior, i.e. their online behavior perhaps, what they say online, and that is suspicious, i.e. someone talks about how they hate how all of these immigrants are coming into the UK and the rape gangs are running untethered and nobody's doing anything about them and it's destroying lives, and the police go, wrongthink, we should go investigate and or arrest. Tanashi, that's coming. I've avoided saying it outright. That is coming. There's already a major fucking protest scheduled for September. I want to say it's around September 11th, but I could be mistaken about that date. But there's a major protest coming, and I still fully believe that the 5th of November is going to get spicy this year. Is it the 13th, right? Okay, yeah. September 13th, there's a major protest happening. I would not be at all surprised to see that go sideways. But more importantly, yeah, the 5th of November is going to be lit this year, I suspect. There's all over the fucking place. You're seeing people comparing this to V for Vendetta. You have people, I've seen so many comments saying, remember the 5th of November. It's going to pop off. It's absolutely going to pop off. You've got like people that are getting denied entry into businesses now because they have a British flag. Just because, like, I saw it's like a British restaurant denied a British man to dine at that restaurant because he had a British flag. Like, it's getting fucking or an English flag. Yeah, not a British flag, an English flag. The St. George's Cross English flag. And he was denied entry because he had the English flag. And they said, nope, you can't come in here. It's getting bad. It's getting really fucking bad, and it's going to pop off. It's going to be popping off really fucking soon.
So essentially, a police officer can be sat in the back of one of these vans, or they can be sat in an office somewhere, and a face scan could come up for you. They could think you're acting suspicious, and they can add a note against you. So when the next camera picks you up, you're noted as a suspicious person. Now, like I said earlier in the video, I actually had a police officer reach out to me about this, and I asked them about this technology, and they said they're not on the team that's using this at the moment, but they have been briefed on how it's going to be introduced. I asked them what happened to the notes and the profiles that stand next to the user. So if someone adds a note about you, how long is it on there for? And he stated that there hasn't been any intimation that that data is ever deleted. So the statement I actually got from
oh, yeah. So you commit wrongful somewhere and you have a note on your file that's not going away and that is tied to your facial recognition. So if you get scanned, a warning's going to pop up and say, wrongful, arrest immediately.
the police officer is as follows. We've not been briefed on how long the scans or associated profiles are retained for. We've only really been taught how to use it. In regards to your questions about where the data is stored, I honestly couldn't tell you. It's most likely with the manufacturer of the Face ID system. I'm not sure if I can divulge that, but the cameras are...
And again, the moment it's revealed who the manufacturer of the Face ID system is, you don't think hackers are going to be banging on their doors and doing do you don't think they're going to become target number fucking one? Yeah, well, it's the same concept, Atanashi. Obviously, they may be going a different, like, physical system, but the same concept.
Did you hear about the 12-year-old girl in the UK who was accosted on a playground by a migrant?
Yeah.
So she pulled out a knife and an axe and chased him off, and the police arrested her and not the migrant who attacked her?
Okay, I saw the video about the girl that pulled out the knife and the axe. I didn't hear that she got arrested. Now, I will say, I saw the video, and something felt off about that video. Because the video was taken from supposedly the perspective of the quote-unquote migrant. Which doesn't make a whole lot of sense why a migrant would record his criminal activities if he's approaching a 12-year-old girl. Like, that's literally the way the video is shot and the way the audio is going, it's like the migrant is the one holding the phone, taking the video. And then it shows the girl, and just out of nowhere, she just pulls out an axe and a knife. I will be honest, my first thought when I saw that was, it's fake. Because it was just, there's too many factors involved there, where A, the criminal in question is videotaping his crime, and 2, this girl just happens to have a big-ass fucking hunting knife and a literal hatchet, like, stuffed down her pants, and she just pulls them out, because just in case, it didn't feel like it was real. It felt like it was a performance. It didn't seem like it was a genuine thing. It was, yeah, I'm not going to say that it was fake, of course, but I saw it and I was like, this doesn't feel real. Yeah, exactly, Hunter. It felt like, watching the video, it felt very staged. Now, maybe it's real, but my impression of it was that it felt staged. That's my feeling about it. And I didn't hear anything about that she got arrested, whereas the migrant did not. I didn't hear anything about that. I just saw the video footage.
and just thought, it looked very staged to me.
Equipped with software that makes the whole process real time. Whilst the tech is very cool to play with, it becomes a tad worrying when you consider the possible ways it could be exploited, not just by the gov, but half the cameras aren't even password protected. So essentially,
oh, why, sweet fuck. Half the cameras are not even password protected. These are gonna get hacked in 5 seconds fucking flat. Holy shit. You've got to be... They are doing dystopia in the most brainless fucking way possible right now. Like, seriously. Yeah, but Fishizi, yeah. Basically, if they're live, if these cameras are live and they're not password protected, they've already probably been fucking hacked. Like, holy crap. This is stupid insanity on a level I didn't even think possible from the UK. And I was thinking pretty badly of them as is.
Not just by the gov, but half the cameras aren't even password protected. So essentially, you could have a whole police profile classifying you as a suspicious person because you were walking down the street eating a Mars bar. It all comes down to the subjectivity and opinion of the person sat in the van. Now, we don't know what bias the person has in the van. We don't know what they're thinking. We don't know what they're looking for. And confirmation bias is a hell of a drug. If they're looking for a person that matches your description...
Yes, Colonel. I'm pretty sure most of us know who Cocteau is. Yes, it's Demolition Man, San Angeles. Yeah. The comparisons have been made that, V for Vendetta, Demolition Man, what was it? Total Recall, Minority Report. All of those comparisons have been made.
And confirmation bias is a hell of a drug. If they're looking for a person that matches your description, they're very likely to tie those attributes to you and treat whatever you're doing as being suspicious. This is genuinely insane. It's also worth exploring the wording that both the BBC and the police have used to describe this. So they've said that the whole idea behind this is to catch like predators and people that have committed like violent crimes and stuff. Basically, they've done the same thing that they did with the online safety.
Yeah, I know where he's going with this. Look at the wording here. To locate suspects for crimes including sexual offenses, violent assaults, and homicide. Including, but not limited to. So they basically put these in the report to basically to try and trick people to think, oh yeah, they're only using this for violent crimes. And they ignore the including part. Well, Zeb, again, they specified so they can, a blatant attempt to try and trick anybody that reads this report. So they think, oh, they're only using this for the violent crimes. They're not going to use this against, okay, yeah, delay in chat. I get, yeah. Delay in chat, Sam. I probably said it right as you were typing it, and there was the delay. No sweat, yeah. Oh, Satman? It should, but my guess is it won't. Because we all know that the UK is all about letting the immigrants do whatever the fuck they want and destroy the country, and they're all about targeting the native Britons. So, take from that as you will.
Act. If you disagree with it, the optics of that to the general public is that you support people doing these crimes. There is no caveats, there's no nuance, there's no applied opinion that comes to this. If you disagree with them doing this and all of a sudden...
Okay, Aquatic, I will respectfully disagree that we don't need a new word. We do not. We need to call it what it is. Authoritarianism and totalitarianism. We call it what it is. Why? Because too many people have been trying to bastardize words like communism, fascism, Nazi, authoritarianism. Too many people have been using those words to basically just say someone disagrees with me. It's time to take it back and start using those words in the way that that their dictionary definition
States. It's time to reclaim that, to bitch slap these green fucking cunts online that call you a fascist because you simply have a different opinion, and actually call fascism fascism, call authoritarianism authoritarianism. It's time to re-inject these words back into the English fucking language as they are supposed to be used. It's time to take them back and tell all of these crying, blue-haired freak shows, fuck off. This is what it really means, and this is what it really looks like, you cock gobblers. Anytime you encounter someone online that tries to claim some bullshit of just disagreeing with them or having a differentiating opinion is fascist or authoritarian, point at the UK and go, no, you dumb fuck. You want authoritarianism? Look at the fucking UK. That's actual authoritarianism, you dumbass. It's time to take the fucking words back as they were originally defined.
No nuance. There's no applied opinion that comes to this. If you disagree with them doing this, and all of a sudden you're a serial super nonce. And that's why optics is 9/10 of the law when it comes to policing in the UK. And by the way, we also have a statement from the Interior Minister, Yvette Cooper, and she recently promised that a legal framework governing the use of this software would be drafted, focusing on the most serious crimes, essentially intimating that they're going to focus on a way to utilize the software without penalizing the wrong people. However, they've decided to
Couldn't buy that. I don't buy that at all. The party has proven themselves that they are careening down the cliff of authoritarianism. I don't believe a fucking thing coming out of the party that they're going to try and just use this for the most serious crimes. Don't believe you. You speak, and I think.
So that was a fucking lie.
That's it. You cannot believe a fucking word that comes out of the party's mouth anymore. They have proven that with the slightest nudge, they are happy jumping off the cliff of authoritarianism. And they're singing Yankee Doodle Dandy on the way down. Actually, no. That's, what's a British song that they would be singing? Britney's. Give me a classic song that someone from the UK would sing that's like in the same vein as Yankee Doodle Dandy. Someone. I need something for this joke. God save. Okay, yeah, go workers. Yeah, they'll be singing God Save the Queen all the way fucking down after they jump off the cliff.
Before they walk, and the following statement is, but her ministry in August authorized police forces to use the technology in 7 new regions. So before the technology is understood, regulated, or actually even approved and voted for by the people of the general public, it's already been put into effect. And this basically means that people will get used to it, people will forget about it, and people will move on. And this will just become the new normal. Now, I do get a lot of flack in the comments every time I make comparisons to China, because obviously what China has is at the moment significantly worse than the UK, and it's very.
I don't know why anybody would give me a flack. China had to start somewhere. Like China, as it is right now, with its communism and social credit scores and monitoring and arresting for wrongthink, that had to start somewhere. The UK is showing the UK is showing that start. They're flat out showing how it starts in the modern day. Because most people weren't alive when China started its level of communism and authoritarianism with social credit scores and false imprisonments and arresting people for wrongthink. Most people were not alive when that started. So most people don't know how it started. It didn't just suddenly snap your fingers one day and all of a sudden come into existence. It had to be built up. The UK is showing how that builds up. The UK is giving a real-time demonstration for the modern generations of how China came to be.
Dystopian, but At what point am I not wrong anymore? At what point does this become the new norm for the British public? At what point do we draw the line? Because for me, the line was drawn years ago, and everything else is just an added thing on top. The Online Safety Act, 10,000 cameras being introduced into the British public. This is not right. This is against our human rights. The problem is, there's all the statements that the police have issued about this is, we want to catch people that have done horrific crimes. And I agree with that. I think if you've done a horrific crime, of course you should be caught, arrested and trialed. But this is profiling everyone and accusing everyone of crimes before they've had their day in court, without doing anything wrong. It used to be a time where if you were in the wrong place at the wrong time when a serious crime was committed, you were considered a suspect. Now it's a case of just your appearance or your actions can make you a suspect, even if you aren't. This is absolutely absurd, and I hope that you find it absurd too. Make sure you check out private internet access at the link down below. It greatly supports the channel and it's a fantastic VPN. And if you do enjoy this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Holy shit. Yeah, it's getting pretty fucking bad.
People actually believe their government would never do that because we're past that behavior now according to their reasoning.
Yeah, well, the people that believe that, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell them real fucking cheap. Oh yeah, Heckle, the challenge is here that it is now guilty until proven innocent. The change has been made and people never even saw it coming in the UK. Because it is literally now, you are guilty until proven innocent. And it flew in under the radar. So most people didn't realize it was happening until it's already there. And these cameras are the definition of guilty until proven innocent. Because the fingermen will trust the cameras, and then they'll go after the person, and they don't care if the cameras be wrong, if the cameras are picking up someone that they don't want. They don't care. You're guilty until you're proven innocent. It's fucking dystopia. And November 6th is gonna be fucking wet.